April 12th, 2013. Kobe Bryant tears his Achilles tendon completely in half. Not a partial tear, not a strain, a complete rupture. The kind of injury that ends careers, the kind that takes a year just to walk normally again. Any rational human being on the planet collapses, screams, gets carried off. Kobe gets up, walks to the free throw line, bounces the ball twice, his routine, drains both free throws. Then, and only then, he limps off under his own power. No one in the building knew what had just happened. His teammates didn't know, the trainers didn't know, the broadcast team didn't know. Kobe didn't tell anyone how bad it was until he got to the locker room. He finished the play.
That moment right there, that one sequence, tells you more about Kobe Bryant than any highlight reel ever could. Because it wasn't heroic, it was compulsive. The man was physically incapable of stopping, even when stopping was the only smart thing left to do. And that compulsion is what made him great, and what broke him apart. To understand what happened to Kobe, you have to understand where it started. He came into the league in 1996, 17 years old, straight out of high school, drafted 13th overall by the Charlotte Hornets, and immediately traded to the Lakers for Vlade Divac. His first few seasons, he was raw. Exciting, clearly talented, but raw. He came off the bench. He didn't start until his third year. But from day one, Kobe had a singular obsession: Michael Jordan. Not just to be as good, to be better. He studied Jordan's game tape the way grad students study dissertations. He broke down every move, every footwork pattern, every psychological trick Jordan used to get into opponents' heads. The fade away from the right elbow, the triple threat hesitation, the way Jordan would let a defender think he was going right before exploding left. Kobe didn't just copy the moves, he understood the geometry of why they worked. Phil Jackson saw it immediately. When Jackson arrived in Los Angeles in 1999 to coach the Lakers, he said privately to his staff that Kobe reminded him more of Jordan than anyone he'd ever coached. Not in talent necessarily, but in the psychological makeup, the need to dominate, the absolute refusal to be second. That's the thing about Kobe that gets lost in the nostalgia. He was genuinely difficult to be around. Ask any former teammate from his early years. He held everyone to the same standard he held himself, and that standard was superhuman. He'd call out veterans in film sessions. He'd embarrass young players in practice for lack of effort. He once reportedly refused to pass to teammates for an extended stretch of a game because he felt they hadn't earned it. Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant center of his era, described playing with young Kobe as exhausting.
But that same intensity is what created one of the greatest players who ever lived. By his third season, Kobe was making all-star teams. By his fourth, he was the best perimeter defender in the league. And then Shaq arrived, and for 3 years, it was the most dominant partnership in basketball. The three-peat from 2000 to 2002 was borderline unfair. They won the 2000 title by running through the playoffs, barely breaking a sweat. The 2001 postseason, they went 15-1. 15 wins and 1 loss across the entire playoffs. That still stands as one of the most dominant playoff runs in NBA history. Kobe was 22, 23, 24 years old during those championships. He had everything. And that's exactly where the self-destruction started. In 2003-04, the Lakers built what should have been an unstoppable team. Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, the second leading scorer in NBA history at that point, coming out of semi-retirement because he wanted one more shot at a ring. Gary Payton, one of the best point guards of his generation. 4 future Hall of Famers on the same roster. A team with no legitimate superstar. Just 5 guys who played the right way, rotated perfectly, and didn't flinch. Kobe shot 6 for 25 in the deciding game. After the finals loss, instead of looking inward, instead of asking what the team needed, Kobe's ego took over completely. He went to Lakers management and issued an ultimatum. Either Shaq goes or I go. Behind the scenes, he pushed for Phil Jackson to be fired. The dynasty that had just won 3 titles in 4 years was dismantled. Shaq was traded to Miami, Jackson was let go, Malone and Payton walked. People forget how irrational this was. Shaq was 31 years old in 2004. He had at least 4 or 5 elite years left. With Kobe alongside him, the Lakers were the prohibited favorites to win multiple more championships. Instead, Kobe decided he'd rather have the team built around him, even if that meant a weaker team, than share the spotlight with Shaq for another 5 years.
And the Lakers paid for it immediately. They went from being finals contenders to a lottery team. Meanwhile, Shaq won another championship in Miami the very next season with Dwayne Wade. The message was clear. People around the league understood what had happened. Kobe understood it too. He just didn't care. Because for Kobe, winning wasn't enough. He needed it to be his win, his legacy, his team. Sharing a dynasty with Shaq felt to Kobe like history misremembering who the best player was. He was willing to burn the whole thing down to make sure nobody forgot his name. That's not strategy. That's obsession consuming itself. From 2005 to 2007, Kobe was stranded. He had his team. He was the undisputed number 1 option. And the team was average at best. What he did statistically during those years is almost impossible to process. In January 2006, he dropped 81 points against the Toronto Raptors. 81 in a single game. The second highest single-game scoring performance in NBA history, behind only Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game in 1962. Kobe hit 28 of 46 field goal attempts, including 7 threes. The Lakers won 122 to 104. That same season, he had a stretch in late December and early January where he scored 50 or more in 4 consecutive games. That's not a hot streak. That's a different species playing basketball. The entire league was watching in stunned silence. But the team was still mediocre, and Kobe knew it. By February 2007, he had enough. He went on a radio show and publicly demanded a trade, said he wanted out, said management wasn't doing what was necessary to build a winner around him. But look back at it now, and it reads differently. It was a man who had sacrificed everything to be in this position, built his entire life around being the best, and was watching it slip away because of a decision he made himself. He created the situation that was breaking him, and he knew it. The trade never happened. Management talked him down. And then, quietly, they made a move that changed everything, trading for Pau Gasol in February 2008. A 7-foot Spaniard with the hands of a point guard and the basketball IQ to play with anybody. Suddenly, Kobe had a partner who didn't need the ball to be effective, who made the offense flow, who could score from anywhere without demanding shots. 2 rings followed, 2009 and 2010. Both times, Kobe was the finals MVP. He had proven his point. He could lead a team to championships without Shaq. But the body had already been sending the bill for years. Here's something most people don't know about Kobe's championships.
During the 2009 and 2010 runs, Kobe was playing through multiple injuries that would have sidelined most players for weeks. His index finger on his shooting hand had been dislocated and never properly healed. His right knee had chronic tendinitis that required cortisone injections throughout the season. His ankles were taped so heavily before games that the training staff joked it looked like he was wearing boots under his shoes. He told nobody outside the organization. He played every game. He averaged 30 points in the 2009 finals. The 2010 finals against Boston was worse. Kobe was running on painkillers and cortisone and whatever else the medical staff could legally put in his body. He shot 4 for 14 in Game 7, made 2 crucial shots in the final 4 minutes to seal the win. After the buzzer and the celebration started, he sat on the floor for a full minute before getting up. And people assumed it was emotion. It was pain. He could barely stand. Between 2010 and 2013, the damage compounded. He came back faster than medically recommended after each setback. A fractured shooting hand in the 2012 playoffs, he played through it and almost nobody knew. His right knee started giving out during games, requiring him to alter his shooting motion. And that altered motion put extra stress on his left leg, which overloaded the Achilles tendon.
The trainer saw it coming. Multiple people in the Lakers organization have said on the record that by early 2013, the medical staff was genuinely alarmed about Kobe's Achilles. They flagged it, they told the coaching staff, and Kobe was informed. He played anyway. All 82 games, 36 minutes a night, at 34 years old. Not because he didn't understand the risk, because stopping simply was not something he was capable of doing. On April 12th, the tendon gave out, and we're back where we started. But the story doesn't end there, because what came after the Achilles was arguably even darker. He came back in 9 months, faster than almost any professional athlete had ever returned from the same injury. Played 6 minutes against the Toronto Raptors in December 2013, then fractured the lateral tibial plateau in his left knee. Different injury, same leg. Out again. Another surgery. He came back again in 2014-15, played 35 games, rotator cuff tear in his right shoulder. Surgery. Season over. And then 2015-16. 37 years old. A 17-win Lakers team, one of the worst rosters in the league. He averaged 17 points in 45 minutes a night. 45 minutes at 37, with a team that was actively tanking around him. He played those minutes because anything less felt like surrender, and Kobe Bryant did not surrender. His final game, 60 points. In his last appearance as an NBA player, he dropped 60 on the Utah Jazz, including the final 13 points of the game after the Jazz cut an 11-point deficit to 2. He was limping visibly between plays. He made every shot that mattered. Let's put a number on what Kobe's choices cost him. Not in rings, in time. Kobe missed 323 regular season games due to injury over his career. That's roughly 4 full seasons. 4 years of games he never played. Multiple orthopedic specialists have said publicly that the majority of those injuries were either directly caused or significantly worsened by his refusal to rest when the medical staff recommended it.
The Achilles alone. Sports medicine consensus says that professional athletes who properly manage their training load and rest at ages 32 to 34 significantly reduce their risk of Achilles rupture. Kobe played more minutes at age 34 than most 25-year-olds in the league. The injury was not bad luck. It was a predictable outcome. What he left on the table. If Kobe plays until 40, which he was physically capable of doing with proper management, he very likely passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record before LeBron James ever touches it. He ends his career as the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. That record goes to Kobe. Instead, it went to LeBron in February 2023, and Kobe wasn't alive to see it. The rings question. If the 2004 Lakers don't implode, if Kobe swallows his ego and keeps Shaq for 3 more years, they are the favorites to win the championship in 2005, 2006, and 2007. That's a realistic path to 7 or 8 titles. Kobe ended with 5. Every single one of the decisions that capped him at 5 was his own. He knew. He understood. He had access to the same analysis anyone else did. And he made the same choice every single time, which is either the most irrational or the most honest thing a competitive athlete has ever done. Here's the question underneath all of this. Was Kobe Bryant's career a tragedy? Or was it exactly what he wanted it to be? Because you can frame this as a cautionary tale. A player who threw away records, titles, and years of his career because he couldn't get out of his own way. That framing is accurate. The numbers support it. But there's another framing. And it goes like this. Kobe Bryant played basketball the only way he knew how to play it. At full speed, full intensity, full commitment, until the body physically stopped him. He didn't play for longevity metrics. He didn't play to optimize his career value. He played to win, right now. And he made the same choice every single time, which is either the most irrational or the most honest thing a competitive athlete has ever done. Here's the question underneath all of this. Was Kobe Bryant's career a tragedy, or was it exactly what he wanted it to be? Because you can frame this as a cautionary tale, a player who threw away records, titles, and years of his career because he couldn't get out of his own way. That framing is accurate. The numbers support it. But there's another framing, and it goes like this. Kobe Bryant played basketball the only way he knew how to play it, at full speed, full intensity, full commitment, until the body physically stopped him. He didn't play for longevity metrics. He didn't play to optimize his career value. He played to win, right now, in this game, tonight, with everything he had, every night. That's not stupidity. That's a value system. A deeply held, deeply personal value system that said, I would rather burn bright for 20 years than glow for 30. When he died in January 2020, in a helicopter in the Calabasas Hills at 41 years old, the entire world went quiet in a way it almost never does for athletes. Not because he had the most rings, not because he was the statistically definitive greatest of all time, but because there has never been, and likely will never be, another Kobe Bryant. Somebody who wanted it that badly, who paid for it that completely, and who never, not once, not for a single public moment, showed any regret about the price. He finished the play. That's all you need to know.